Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We approach kickoff between Oregon and Boise State. It is a 7 o'clock start, officially 7:05. Televised on Peacock, broadcast on Peacock, streamed on Peacock. The visual presentation of the game will be on Peacock. We will also have a 5 o'clock pregame show across the Oregon Sports Network. Will Stein, Duck offensive coordinator. I talked with him after practice today. We've also got Kyler Casper, Brandon Johnson, as well as, of course, head coach Dan Lanning on the Toyota Coaches Corner with Jerry Allen. And last night, the Toyota Coaches Show with Dan Lanning, absolutely outstanding. Jabbar Muhammad joined us, got to know the new Duck coming from one side of the rivalry to the other. If you missed the Oregon Football Coaches Show, you missed out. Also today, we will have Bob Behler, the voice of the Broncos, joining us, get the view from the other side of this matchup. And it is match day for Oregon soccer in Lubbock, Texas. Graham Abel's squad on the road. You can tune in on ESPN Plus starting at 5 o'clock Pacific time tonight. Texas Tech, big one on the road. Ducks did not like their performance on the road in the state of New Mexico. They've been good at home. They weren't as good on the road. Curious what Duck team we see on the pitch tonight. We'll also talk with Derek Harmon today. We'll also talk a bit with Jamari Caldwell today. And the game day timeline. We've got it for you. With a 7 o'clock start between Oregon and Boise State. Wear green, by the way. The parking lots will open up. You got a long time to tailgate at 1 o'clock. And I encourage everybody, hydrate. We don't want to have any heat-related incidents. Hydrate, please, for that 1 o'clock tailgating start. Continuing with the game day timeline, at 4 o'clock, the Mashofsky Center will open. And at 4:45, we'll have the March to Victory with the Ducks through the Mashofsky Center. And then the Seating Bowl will open up at 5:30, Autzen Stadium. Get to your seats early. About 14 minutes before kickoff is when the national anthem will be. Plenty of time to get your concession item of the game, the souvenir popcorn bucket. I kind of hope that John Sargent brings one of those in tomorrow. I have not seen the souvenir popcorn bucket in person. This year's cups, though, so good. Grass is damn green in Eugene. You know, that phrase may describe why Jabbar Muhammad ended up at Oregon. If you missed his conversation with us on the Coaches Show, well, here's also part of what you missed last night live when we were here in the Country Financial Studio with Jabbar Muhammad. After a 20-year career where you become a multimillionaire, what's next after football?
Man, I want to get fat and relax.
That might be the most honest answer I've ever heard to that question.
Yeah, man. I'll be when I'm done with it. I'll be done with it. I don't want to see no cleats. I don't want to see anything. I'm done with it.
Wow, like what a great answer to that question. I mean, talk about how fast he answered that question too. Jabbar Muhammad, just hilarious. Also, just an overall great conversation. We'll have some more of it coming up for you later on the show today. Bob Behler, the voice of the Broncos, the view from the other side of this matchup, talking about some bad memories. His memories are a little better than mine in this matchup. Talking about that with Bob Behler, kind enough to join us. We recorded with him yesterday, the voice of the Broncos, with us here to kick off Duck Insider. So Bob and I have crossed paths at basketball games. I have a terrible memory the last time I was talking to Bob because Boise State broke Oregon's very long home winning streak at Matthew Knight Arena, and my call was really sad, and Bob's call was really good. There's a lot of those memories on the Oregon side, and we'll go through some of that. Bob Behler is our guest, the voice of the Broncos. Let me just start first by saying hi, Bob. How are you?
You know, I'm thinking a perfect ending would be like a Jonah Dalmas 50-yard field goal to end it. The Broncos win. I mean, we had a three-pointer to win that basketball
from half
game,
court.
Right?
From half court.
Yeah.
No, I remember that. I was not on, and I'm happy to say this on the Oregon side. I have not been on a broadcast that the football team has played in a game and lost to the Broncos. So maybe there's a good omen coming when I'm on the football broadcast. I was calling a basketball game, actually, the last time Oregon and Boise State met in a bowl game, Bob. So I don't know. None of this matters. But I can try.
No, it doesn't. No. But I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so.
I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so, Bob, we have a tradition that I did not warn you about here in the studio, and it's the first time that we've had you on the air, which means that you have to tell your 2-minute life story. We are competitive. We have a leaderboard. Okay. I'm going to time you. What's your 2-minute life story? Go.
All right. Grew up in California in Stockton. Worked in broadcasting in high school. Went to the University of Georgia. Did women's basketball and baseball there. First job out of college was with the Chattanooga Lookouts. Edgar Martinez was our third baseman. Then went to Bucknell University. Was there for 13 years. 9 years at UMass. And then I've been the last 16. This is the 17th at Boise State. So is that good, or do you want more?
That was only 27 seconds. I mean, that's an efficient broadcaster right there.
No, life story. It's been great. I found a way to, live in sports and have fun without ever being a good athlete.
Yeah, same, Bob. That's a similar 2-minute life story. There's no doubt about it. So now the Broncos. You have spent, as you alluded to, nearly 2 decades with this program. Bob, I'm kind of curious your perspective on this because I have said that Oregon and Boise State in a lot of ways are akin in the way they've grown over the last 30 years as West Coast teams and just the way that the programs have evolved and grown. I don't know, what's your perspective on that, the growth of Boise State and maybe how it compares to Oregon?
Well, I think from Boise State's perspective, it's a little different in that they've been in a lot of different levels of college athletics and they've been in a lot of different leagues. And I think as somebody that joined after the first Fiesta Bowl, I have the second 2 Fiesta Bowls that I was privileged to be the voice on. I think they've been just good at every level they've been at. They've found a way to win leagues. They've found a way to be nationally relevant at every level, going from junior college all the way to today. And I think that's a testament to the community. I think that they've done a great job in hiring people so that they've had a lot of great people working. But I think it's the community that has bought in, that has supported things. And I think that that's why Boise State has been successful for so many moons.
Well, and certainly the city has grown a lot too, Bob. I mean, how much has that community grown since you've been there?
Well, it's grown a lot, but it's grown a lot before I got here. I mean, now you go for people who are familiar, from Boise to Meridian to Nampa, and there's very little between any of those cities. There's certainly none between Boise and Meridian. So we're over 500,000 in the metro area now. So, I think as you look at things, it's been, a growth for this area too, with the influx of population, facilities. Much, when I've gone to place games over at your place, you guys have done a nice job with facilities. We've done a nice job with facilities. And I think that has allowed things to kind of keep moving down the line so that you can, be able to, compete with whatever teams that are also doing well in your league as well.
Yeah, the voice of the Broncos, Bob Behler, joining us. So I got to ask, when you took the Broncos job, did you realize how much fun with alliteration you would have? Boise, Bob Behler, Broncos.
Well, and to think about it, my first job was with the Bucknell Bison.
Oh yeah.
So that's 2 B's.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to give you a little story that's kind of funny. Bucknell and Boise State are both blue and orange. The blue is a little bit different. So I had all kinds of blue and orange gear in addition to the stuff that's logoed, but just, nice things.
Right.
So I got rid of most of everything that I had that was blue and orange because UMass was maroon and white. Mm-hmm. So there was no need to have blue and orange up there. So I move out. I had kept this one sweater that looked like it was handmade. It was nice and warm, and it was this color. It was orange. So I go the first year up to Idaho, and I have the sweater on calling the football game. And one of our guests at halftime mentioned about, wow, you're really looking Boise State-ish with this orange sweater. And I'm thinking to myself, the guy doesn't know how old it is. And I had saved it after a couple of moves. So sometimes you save something and it comes back to be good.
Yeah, I'm with you. Are you still going full suit and tie at basketball?
No.
Oh, same.
No, I got rid of it in COVID.
Yeah.
Got rid of it in COVID.
Same. So I've gone polo like a lot of the coaches, or a nice quarter zip. I have a feeling that the Royal Broadcaster tie collection is probably going to shrink here over the next few generations. Okay, I had to depart for just a second because I love a good alliteration, Bob. All right, Boise State this season. One game in, what were the expectations heading into the season? Have those expectations changed at all after starting out 1-0 in a barn burner of a game already?
Well, I think the expectations are, as every year, win the Mountain West or win the WAC or Big West or whatever league they've been in. So I think that never changes, and it was a non-conference game, so that wouldn't change. But I think this year the goal for this program is to get to the college football playoff by being a champion that's the best of the group of five. And maybe with some other leagues like the ACC that hasn't played well, it's the best five conferences get in. So maybe the American and the Mountain West will both get in this year, depending on how things shake out. But what I was going to say is, I think people didn't quite know what to expect as far as, like how good was our quarterback Maddox Madsen going to be? He won a quarterback battle this summer. Ashton Jeanty people knew about, but I don't know that they knew that he was going to get a school record 267 yards in the first game. We were going over some records in August that we thought Ashton could possibly break. And I looked at it and I go, school record 261 set by Cedric Minter in 1978. That's the rushing record. I said, that's one that I think could go down. Didn't think it would happen in week one, but when you get 150 yards or so on two plays, that gives you a nice total, getting close to the 261. And then the school record for touchdowns was 5. There were four guys that have that, and then all of a sudden he gets a 6th, and now he stands alone top of the pile. So I think he's as good as advertised. The backup true freshman Sire Gaines did well. I think they'd like to see more out. We'd like to see more out of the defense. Third downs was a problem. If we get that 1 third down at the beginning of the third quarter, and get off the field and then maybe come down and score, we win maybe a little more comfortably. And Jeanty might not have either of his 2 records because, if we're ahead by 3 touchdowns, he's not probably running for 75 yards in the fourth quarter.
Right. Ashton Jeanty, okay, you touched on it, has garnered a lot of praise from Dan Lanning. Coach Lanning said that he's maybe the best running back that he has seen since he got to Oregon. I mean, tell fans about him. How good is he?
I'll tell you what, we've had some good running backs since I've been here. Jay Ajayi, Alexander Madison, Ian Johnson, Doug Martin, who was a first-round draft pick. I think Ashton is as good or better than all of those guys. I'll say this, though, if you're going to give me the 4th or 5th pick in a running back draft of people I've seen at Boise State, I'd have absolutely no problem because I'd have somebody that was really, really good. But he to me does a great job. My favorite attribute of his is I think he has a great ability to sense when to go right or when to go left or when maybe to speed up to get through the hole or when maybe to slow down a little bit and let the pursuit kind of pass, and then you can kind of slip behind him. He reads blocks real well. He's so good, so good.
It's cool to see. I feel like that lineage at that position. There's certainly some of those positions at Oregon. I mean, you hit on it. Like, running back's been awfully good for the Broncos, and I would imagine, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Bob, but I'd imagine that running the ball is probably a key in the game on Saturday, yeah?
Well, I don't know that they're going to get, 2 guys over 100 yards, but I think I think that, yes, if Boise State's going to win the game, I think they're going to need to have a nice running total. Not to say that you don't need, Madsen looked good throwing the football, career high for him, 280. Receivers look good. The line, blocked well. He wasn't sacked at all. So, I think that that's going to be good too. But, I think for Boise State all season, running game, this is a team that's going to run first, pass second. So, yeah, I would look for I would be surprised if, I'd be surprised any game this season that they don't run the ball pretty well.
Talking with Boise State broadcaster Bob Behler. He'll have the call for the Broncos Sports Network coming up for the 7 o'clock game at Onset Stadium on Saturday. More to come. Quick timeout on Duck Insider. Back to the Country Financial Studio, continuing our preview of Ducks Broncos on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Continuing to talk Ducks and Broncos, it's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Bob Behler, longtime voice of Boise State, going on 2 decades now. He's got the call on the Broncos side of things, continuing to preview the matchup with Bob Behler. You touched on just the efficiencies of the run game and a little bit of the whole offense there, but what is the offensive identity under a Oregon connection of an offensive coordinator in Dirk Cutter?
Well, I think Dirk Cutter, when you look at some of the teams he's had, some run-heavy teams, some pass-heavy teams. I think he looks at what he has and comes up with whatever he thinks is the best way to move the football and get into the end zone. So I think we're probably more of a run team under Dirk this year with this squad. I mean, a couple years ago when he came out of retirement in the middle of the season, we had a running game where a lot of it was dependent on the quarterback run. So I think great coaches have a way of looking at what their skill set is for their players and find a way to put them in the best possible positions, and I think he does that.
How about Coach Cutter? He has a connection to Boise State, and certainly it's a close place to his heart, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you look at some of the other connections. Coach Pete was at Oregon as an assistant before, coming over to be Boise State's, offensive coordinator, and then, obviously elevated at head coach. So, I mean, you look at the two teams, a lot of success for both Boise State and Oregon. So, why not have some common threads throughout the program?
Well, another one, Eric Shenander, defensive coordinator, spent time at Oregon. A lot of connections amongst the tree. How about his defense? What's the identity heading into the year and into week 2?
Well, I think the identity is that they're much more experienced than last year. I think they do tackle better. They were the ones that probably needed, to improve the most from week 1 to week 2. Just make some more plays. I mean, it's like a baseball game, where your shortstop makes an error, and all of a sudden somebody bats with a guy on base, and then somebody gets a hit, and then somebody gets another hit, and all of a sudden, the team has 2 runs. Where if you'd have made that, picked up the grounder to short through to first base, you're in the dugout. Your pitcher's not throwing any more pitches. So I think that's the biggest thing for Boise State's defense is I think they need to be able to get off the field in third down, and they'll change a lot of things if they're able to do that.
Yeah, certainly easier said than done. And I heard Coach Danielson's press conference, and I wanted to ask you about him. I mean, I love listening to his press conference, just as a neutral observer, like just engaging. What about Spencer Danielson? How exciting is it to have him at the helm?
Spencer Danielson has been here 8 years. He's gone from a graduate assistant to an assistant coach to a coordinator to an interim head coach, was the first interim head coach ever to win a conference championship playoff game. Clay Helton, our opponent last week, got to the championship as an interim at USC, but they didn't win it. And now he got the job after winning the Mountain West Championship. I mean, he took over with 2 games left in the regular season as interim, got the team to line up and play hard and win 2 games. We got a little break or 2 where certain teams lost that we needed to have lose, and then we got to the championship game and won it over UNLV in decisive fashion. Spencer can motivate anybody. I'm not taking any credit for this, but when you're around coaches, you kind of sense, Joey, who might be a good head coach that hasn't given an opportunity. He just exuded head coach to me when he was an assistant here.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is he's got buy-in from everybody, staff, players. Really the quarterback that went to Arkansas Green is the only player that we really lost in the portal. I mean, to lose one person in the portal, that's kind of unbelievable.
Especially during a coaching transition in today's college football era. I mean, I can only imagine what that was like. I mean, if I asked you this, with 3 games left in the season a year ago, and then we're talking about a lot of excitement heading into this season. I mean, just take us on the roller coaster if you could, Bob. Like, what has the Boise State fan base been through during that transition?
Well, obviously disappointed because they were sitting, I think it was 5-4 or 5-5 or whatever it was when they made 5-4 because there were 3 games left, I believe, in the regular season. So, you're looking at probably thinking we're going to be fortunate to go to a bowl game. Not only did, we rally back to get it to a winning season, by the way, 26 in a row.
Right.
No school has more consecutive winning seasons than Boise State, and then find a way to win the league championship. So, yeah, it was fantastic. Great finish. And then obviously with everybody that was coming back and the ascension of Coach Danielson to be, the permanent head coach, people are really, really sky high this summer leading into this season.
Bob Behler, voice of the Broncos. He'll have the call on the Broncos side of the broadcast coming up, 7 o'clock kickoff at Autzen Stadium. Ducks and Broncos. Renewing what I think has really been a fun regional rivalry. And I touched on that, Bob. Like it's odd to think that it's only been 3 times that these 2 teams have met on the gridiron. Like, selfishly, here's hoping for a few more of those matchups, maybe in a college football playoff, huh?
Well, I've seen a couple of the projections this year saying, Oregon and Boise State were going to meet in the first round. And, I guess unlike the college basketball where they would try to steer clear of a regular season rematch, I guess in this one they're not. You're going to get seated wherever you fall in the top 12. But, I don't know. I was hoping maybe it would be like a further down the line matchup, like quarter semis kind of thing.
I'm in. I'll take it. If both teams are there, you and I can both be happy. I'm in for that. The communal good. I like that.
Yeah.
What is the view for you as a fan of the sport, and then also, of course, as a representative for Boise State? Like 12-team playoff thoughts?
Oh, I think it's exciting because I think there's a way to get in there. I think with 4. it would have been very difficult. Cincinnati, I guess, pulled it off one of the years, but to get in there as a group of 5. So I think it's exciting. I mean, we've played well against a lot of, big name powers over the years that, I know if you have to play the first round, you're going to somebody's, stadium, but hey, wouldn't you rather play, somebody that's a Michigan or an Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama in the first round than go to the, LA Bowl or, one of the other bowls they're nice, they're fun, but, we've seen stranger things happen in basketball in the tournament where how did they beat them kind of a thing. So
right.
Why not?
I'm with you. And I also love it from college football. To me, is about that pageantry at a home field, and we get more of that now as part of the playoff. I'm all in. A couple final thoughts for Bob Behler. So I always ask this. We've touched on it a bit, but the view of Oregon, right? So what do you make of the Ducks this year, the program as a whole? What does the fan base think of the Ducks? And maybe those are two different answers, Bob.
Well, I don't know what the fan base thinks of Oregon. I would imagine that they're thinking that, they've got an awful lot of talent, top 10 team, a team that, is going to contend for, and this is hard to believe as somebody that grew up in California, for the Big Ten championship.
Right.
But, Oregon could come in there and win the Big Ten the first year they're in there. But for me, I mean, this will be the second time Boise State has faced Dylan Gabriel, and he had a nice game against Boise State in the first meeting. UCF won a back-and-forth game. He threw for over 300 yards and had 4 touchdowns. So I'm thinking that, all of a sudden you lose Bo Nix, and when you lose Bo Nix, you've got Dylan Gabriel that comes in, so you're probably not going to drop off at quarterback at all, where, more times than not you would have if you lost Nix. You probably have somebody that, hasn't had a lot of experience, and then watching your game with Idaho, prepping for the game, I just see waves and waves of people that come at you. I don't know how many receivers that you have, 6 or 8, it seems, 2, 3 running backs, the defensive guys, you rotate a lot of people in and out, meaning my job's going to be a lot harder when you got all these defensive guys that, you got to know the numbers of that are coming into the game. So, I think Boise State, has their work cut out for them. If you look at, Oregon's been up more years than not, but I think this year the Ducks are up pretty high.
All right, keys to the game. Boise State wins at Autzen on Saturday if?
Well, if Genty, runs the ball and keeps the ball out of Oregon's offense's hands, I think that's the, not only is Boise State moving the chains, scoring, but all the time they have the ball, Dylan Gabriel's sitting over there on the sidelines and not able to do what he wants to do. And then on the defensive side of things, I think, they have to get off the field on third downs. That's something that hurt them last year, hurt them against Georgia Southern, allowed Georgia Southern to get back into the game. But, if you've got them in 3rd down and 8, you got to shut the door and you got to get your defense off the field. And then I think Boise State has the best kicker and punter pair in the country, in Ferguson Reynolds punting and Dalmas kicking. No field goal attempts against Georgia Southern. Not a problem because you were getting touchdowns, and only 1 punt, not a problem because you're moving the ball down. But I'd like to see both of those guys, be a factor in the game because they're so good.
Special teams can always make a huge difference. There's no doubt about it. Bob Behler, voice of the Broncos. Bob, I look forward to hosting you at Autzen Stadium. Here's to a few more matchups, maybe this year. Who's to know? I appreciate the time, sir.
Tell you what, if we play a second time, that means both of us have had a great year, so let's sign for it.
I'm in for that. Bob Behler, voice of the Broncos, joining us here. It was great to catch up with him. Again, he'll have the call on the Bronco side of things coming up for the 7 o'clock kickoff. Ducks and Broncos at Autzen Stadium on Peacock. 5 o'clock pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network. Up next, defensive lineman Derek Harmon, Jamari Caldwell. Going to talk with them as they met with the media this week. Quick timeout. Duck D-line. Next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey, Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial studio. Derek Harmon and Jamari Caldwell, a couple veterans that have transferred into this Oregon program, and I thought Derek Harmon made a big impact against Idaho. Sure looked like the veteran defensive line body that the Ducks need. He played well, I thought. Derek Harmon met with the media on Wednesday to kick off D-line segment here.
On tape, and just how good of a running back do you think? Gente, the Boise State running back, just what have you seen from him on tape, and how
good running back? We got to stop him. If you want to win, we got to stop him.
How do you feel like you did this past week?
Just make the plays within the defense. Coach made the calls. We got to execute.
How's the camaraderie of the defensive line been so far through camp in this first week?
It's been good, man. I love them guys. Probably the best group I've been around my years in college. So I love these guys.
Small sample size so far, but your decision to come to Oregon so far, how has it met expectations?
It's met its expectations. I feel good coming out. I feel like I made a great decision.
How were you guys able to build on the success that you guys had against Idaho?
One more time.
How are you guys able to build on the success that you had against Idaho?
We came here this week just get back to work. It wasn't the best football we played, but we came here and attacked this week and still attacking this week. So we're going to put on a show next weekend.
Have you seen that show up in practice? You guys better effort, better execution, better production?
Yes, sir. It's been an intense week. Everybody's fighting and grinding to get better.
They're really, really efficient on third and fourth down. You can go back to last season. What have you seen that makes them that way? Is it just the running back? What is it about them that makes them so
They want to run the ball, and they want to take shots. Keep running the ball down your throat and then take shots. Big plays happen like that.
You talked about stopping the running back, but what's sort of the key to just even taking him down? Because that's obviously easier said than done.
Tackle them. It's football. You got to tackle somebody, you want to bring them down.
What have you seen from their quarterback when he does?
Hand the ball off to his running back, pretty much. Of course, he takes shots, but he's a good quarterback. I'm not taking nothing from him, but good quarterback.
Does the defense get a little more fired up when you see a guy that ran for 260 and averaged like 14 yards a carry and 6 touchdowns?
Yeah, I feel like it's a mission to stop him from doing that against us. So as long as we stop him from running that ball, we can win the game, I feel like.
I got to tell you, I love Derek Harmon's answer. So what are the keys against running back? What it comes down to is just football. You got to tackle him. Sometimes I think that we get so lost in the X's and O's of the scheme, and believe me, I know that that's what coaches love, and it's very important. Do not get me wrong here. But also, teams that tackle well and are disciplined and fundamentally sound tend to win a lot of football games. Jabbar Caldwell, Duck defensive lineman, also, I think a veteran, big-time addition to Oregon's defensive front. He talked with the media this week as well.
So looking ahead to this Boise State matchup, obviously Ashton Jeanty, one of the top running backs in the country. You know, how have you guys prepared for him, and what do you see from your position?
We run block reaction every day. You know, that's a great back. So we got to keep our eyes in the backfield on our man, striking, doing a lot of running, run defense with the offense. So yeah, just a lot of contact every day, just preparing.
Go ahead.
What's the camaraderie of the defensive line been like so far through camp?
Can you explain that?
You guys bonding as a team?
Oh yeah, my boys. Yeah, we bonding every day. It's like family now. You know, a lot of transfers coming in. It take a little time to get to know a lot of people, but now, you know, I could call people as brothers now. So yeah.
Last few days after Idaho, how's the mental bounce back been from the guys? Obviously, you guys wanted a better, performance on Saturday, but how's it been from the group overall?
It's been pretty good. You know, we take a lot of info from that game and learning from it. A lot of film. We've been bouncing back pretty good, though. Coach been on our tail about, still playing the run. We got, like you say, Idaho was running the ball. They didn't have that much success, but Boise State can have a lot of success, so we just focusing on them right now.
What are you doing personally to kind of prepare for Big Ten play?
Personally, preparing for Big Ten, I'm watching a lot of film. I'm coming from the Big 12, so it's a lot of 3 down, a lot of passing. Here, they going to run the ball.
You mentioned the transfer. It's a small sample size so far, but how's your time at Oregon lived up to what you're hoping it to be?
It's been pretty good. Everything Dan explained before coming here is exactly how everything led out. So, yeah, it's been pretty good.
How do you feel like you did last weekend? Because obviously it doesn't show up in the box score part, but there's a lot of stuff that you do that won't show up in the box score.
Yeah, it didn't show up in the box score. I'm not the one that goes stat pad. It's gonna show up on film that I did did. Oh, I stuttered. Did this great, and it's some things I need to work on also. But I think I did pretty good communication-wise. It's really loud on the field, but just being locked in and playing my role and everything else fall in place.
Do you take more pride in showing up in a good film session than showing up in the box score?
Oh yeah, I rather hang a scoop than take on 2 than somebody make the play than do something wrong. So yeah.
How much does that get underscored this week, which is between their running back and how efficient they are in 3rd and 4th down? That the job that you have to do is.
Oh yeah, it's pretty major. So you got to keep that running back. He pretty good. We watched a lot of film on him. So. Yeah.
Anybody you played who you'd compare him to just stylistically? Or?
When I say contact-wise, Ollie Gordon I played against, and speed-wise, it was a back at TCU. I forgot his name, though. Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys need to improve on the D-line as a unit?
Improve transition rushing. It's a lot of play-action passes. Teams don't want to – I won't say teams don't want to run down the middle, but teams going if something don't work, they're going to have to get us off our heels. So there are a lot of play-action passes, so transition rushes and things like that.
That's something that I'll be watching for this weekend after hearing that. Those play-action passes, especially with a running back as talented as Jeanty. I mean, Ty Prey is coming from Coach Lanning this week that maybe Ashton Jeanty is the best running back that he has seen since coaching here at Oregon. An NFL player by all accounts. I mean, if you listen on the Boise State side of things this week, Spencer Danielson, head coach, is getting questions about how do you go about a Heisman campaign. That's the talent level for him. Defensive line, stopping the run, big key for Oregon, I think, on Saturday at 7 o'clock. When we come back, Jabbar Muhammad, you can't help but root for the guy after hearing this. We're coming back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear summer vacay, load up on fun in a new Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner, haul it all in the Tundra, play hard in the Tacoma, or take the scenic route in the all-new all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear summer vacay, load up on fun in a new Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner, haul it all in the Tundra, play hard in the Tacoma, or take the scenic route in the all-new all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union, Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. So last night on the Toyota Coaches Show, we had Jabbar Muhammad. I thought, I want to get to know him here for 1 year. What a great addition to the Oregon team. I was going to say defensive back group, but just the team in general. Really great to get to know him a little bit. Had him on the Toyota Coaches Show. So Scott put together the supercut of about, a half an hour conversation that Jabbar Muhammad and I had. It was awesome. So full interview available on the Oregon Sports Network podcast, or search for the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Football social media channels, as well as the GoDucks YouTube, where you might be watching Duck Insider right now. Jabbar Muhammad, some of the greatest hits from a great conversation with the Oregon senior. All right, so you hear shout. Now you've experienced shout.
Uh-huh.
What are your feelings when you hear that song now after hearing it once at Autzen Stadium?
Oh, man, it's crazy. I'm actually familiar with the song shout because I grew up watching the Temptations, and it's actually on a movie. So I was already familiar with it, and then when I heard it at Austin for the first time, man, it was cool. It was real surreal. So to see that, man, I was kind of excited.
It sounds like you're proud of your family.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I couldn't. With the sacrifices and things that they made and things in the game that they've taught me. Like you said, my pops always tell me, man, I've been 16 before, I've been 17 before, you ain't got a lot of me or anything, anything like that. So the game that they give me, the sacrifice they give me and things like that, man, when you get older, you really start to cherish stuff like that. So I'm real proud of them. I'm real thankful to be in this position. I'm really thankful to have them in my life.
What's the backyard football game like in your house?
Man, oh my goodness. We used to play when it was too cold or sometimes a little bit too hot outside, we used to go in the garage and play knee football sometimes. But man, I love the back, so much. I like to say my family or my house, my immediate family was like the spot to be at, because my pops and everything. So everybody used to be over there, man. Whether it's basketball, football, going running some hills or whatever it was, man. My house was the place to be at. But, man, it was intense. It was intense. I probably still got some beef with some of my cousins over some basketball games or some football games or things like that. But, man, just being able to compete that young and being that competitive, man, it can do some things for you when you get to a higher level.
I feel like the pendulum has swung a bit toward defense.
Right.
Again, like, what do you think as a student of the game? Have you kind of seen that yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. I see a lot of people who try to play receiver, but a lot of people who play corner run track and things like that. So it's a different dynamic these days because, man, with the explosive offenses and things like that, these guys you're covering, they're the opponent's team's best player. So it's kind of tough. But, yeah, I see the dynamic switching a little bit.
What's the matchup like at practice with some of these
Man,
receivers?
I mean, I love the way Coach Landon runs it because, like, it's not like just Jabbar and Evan all day or Jabbar and Tez all day, man. I'm going against guys like Justice Lowe, Kyler Casper, those guys, man, Trayshawn. You know, those guys are good, man. It's like it's iron sharpens iron, man. When you're going against those different looks, man, it's not going to do anything but make you better. You know, I might go with Evan. He's a speedy guy who can run a whole route tree. Tez, man, he's in that slot, man. You can't touch him. Trayshawn's bigger body, but also fast, slick, can go catch jump ball. Same with Kyler. J-Lo's a speed guy, man. It's talent across the board, man. It's like you're going to get better regardless. Yeah.
Why Oregon? What was it about this place that made you want to be a Duck?
Yeah, so when after last year, I was really debating on if I wanted to enter my name in the NFL draft or come back. And when I sat down with it was really my big brother and my dad. When I sat down with them two, we were talking about the pros and the cons and everything did I really do everything that I wanted to do in college or anything like that. So then obviously, you know, my previous coach left at UW, and so I got in the portal, man. And when I got on the phone with Coach Landon and everything, man, it was just crazy. We would start talking schemes and things like that. Coach Hamp, Coach Tosh, all of those guys. And you know, I've never played for a defensive head coach ever in my career. So it was like we were speaking the same language, man. Just me being a corner, and Coach Hamp knows DB, Coach Landon knows DB, and Coach Tosh, all them guys. When you get around those guys, you start talking some football things. Man, it kind of just knocked me off my feet. So when we was having those conversations, man, I was just like, yeah, I know where I want to be. I know where I need to go.
When Oregon would play against you last year, it was like, man, Jabbar Muhammad's really good. Now it's like, man, Jabbar Muhammad's really good. Like, right? Yeah. So we're glad you're here. You know, I asked you before, like, what makes a good cornerback, and I feel like you strike me as someone who's just like a junkie of the game.
Yeah.
So where'd that start? Where'd your love of football come from?
Yeah, like so my dad coached me in Little League. I know I keep talking about my family, but my dad.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. He coached me in Little League, and he just taught me a lot of the fundamentals and things like that. And I want to say something here. I'm in Madden. I used to play Madden a lot coming up, and just knowing some of the schemes and things like that. And then obviously you have mentors back home that I kind of got around, like some trainers and things that kind of taught me specifically the cornerback position. And like I said, I come from a football family, man. So just being in love with the game. When it's not school, it was football. So just knowing, my dad always say, get ahead of the curve, of the curve. And I know a lot of the times, kids in high school or kids even in middle school aren't really pride themselves on being football junkies. So I kind of try to do that, like just try to, be the best that I could be. And I knew that, being smart, having a high IQ would separate me from everybody else.
All right, so you talked about getting ahead of the curve.
Right.
I would say graduating at 19 is getting ahead of the curve.
Most definitely.
So how'd you do it?
So like I said, so I took 60 hours in high school since I was a freshman. I took 60 hours, and when I got to college, man, I had I only needed 70 more. So man, my pops told me, man, just load up. Then it was COVID, so it was like online. I'm giving y'all some game here. It was all online. So man, just load up on the classes, man. You ain't got to go to class. Just do it all online. Just knock it out. So
if you had a chance to give advice to your 17-year-old self, what would you say to your 17-year-old self?
I'd just say the quote that I kind of live by since I got into college, man, was what's meant for you will not pass you by. All the hard work and everything you put in, man, it's going to all come full circle. And when it does, you'll probably be pretty proud.
The DBs.
Yeah.
The other cornerbacks.
Yeah.
The guys you're playing with.
Yeah.
What about them? What should we know?
Man, those my guys, man. Just in this day and age, in college football with the landscape, when the portal and everything, man, when I came in, those guys opened me with open arms.
Cool.
Literally. There was no animosity in the room, which there could be. There's no hate in the room, man. Like I said, those guys welcomed me with open arms. Even with my history with playing them and everything like that, man. We're like sponges. We pick each other's brains. We tell each other when we BSing, when we not playing to our level. And man, the thing I love the most about what we do, man, is after practice, man, we just huddle up. No coaches, all the corners, just huddle up, man. We just talk about the day, talk about what we could have did better. I remember I had a few of the guys before on week 0. They came to the crib, just watched Dante cook some rotel. Dante cooked some rotel, man. Everybody was at the crib, man, just chilling, having like some barbershop talk. Man, it was cool, man. So, man, I really enjoy being around this group, man. It's a special group.
To that point, like I feel like there has to be such a like a professional respect almost, from player to player.
Yeah, most definitely. Especially, man. I say this all, especially with DBs, man. Our job's hard enough as it is, man. We can't be in. We got to be in the room, together. We got to be in the room on the same page, man. So I feel like DBs click the best. Yeah. Probably us and O linemen click the best, man. Just knowing that. Man, we got to go out there and cover the opponent's best athletes for 60, 65, 70 snaps, man. So just having that camaraderie, just having that togetherness in that room, man, is special.
How important is communication? I feel like that's such an obvious question.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Communication is very important. If I'm on a different page, man, that can be a bomb. That can be a touchdown. So I always got to be on the same page. Always got to you got to know your brother, man. Know who that is next to you. There's different relationships. I know what this person can do and what this person might not be that good at, so I might adjust to their plan. You know what I'm saying? So communication is very important.
If you weren't playing football, what sport would you be playing?
I'll be hooping.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be at this level. But
is there another close second with basketball?
I was football. I mean track, but. Yeah, with these days, these dudes be sliding. I can't keep up with them.
All right, so now I asked this to a lot of people that are big basketball fans, and I know that you probably haven't had a lot of time to play a lot of basketball yet. Mm-hmm. Who's the starting five from the Duck football team to play basketball?
Jabbar at guard.
Yeah. There's one.
Collar at the 3.
Okay.
Shaq at center. I think he's named Shaq.
Shaq, yeah, that's right.
Shaq at center.
Yep.
Who I got the 4 and the 2. Who I feel like can hoop at the 2. I'll probably just say Tez. I'll say Tez. And then at the 4, give me another big body. I need somebody who can. Give me Mark. Give me Big Mark.
All right.
Give me Big Mark.
Yeah. All right, there's some common names. So I bring this up to everybody who's like, no, I'd be a basketball person. And you'd be surprised. There's some common names that come up. Kyler Casper's been one.
Oh, yeah. You got to have Kingston Lopez at the – forget Tez. Kingston Lopez at the 2. Kingston Lopez at the 2. Kings Love at the 2.
That's DB Love right there, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jabbar Muhammad joining us. Okay, after a 20-year career where you become a multimillionaire, what's next after football?
Man, I want to get fat and relax.
That might be the most honest answer I've ever heard to that question.
Yeah, man. I'll be when I'm done with it. I'll be done with it. I don't want to see no cleats. I don't want to see anything. I'm done with it. I'll probably dibble and dabble in some investments, but man, I want to get big. Enjoy my kids, probably. You know what I mean? Just enjoy my kids. Enjoy whatever I built for myself. Enjoy the family life. Like I said, I want to get big and relax, man. I want to be out of shape. I want to see how that feel.
Boise State coming up. What do you see from the Bronco offense? Some of the keys to success defensively.
Yeah, man. Obviously, they have a really good run game. They have a really good elite running back in Ashton Genty. They have some really good receivers on the outside as well on the perimeter. Quarterback looks like he know how to manage that offense and run that offense pretty well. So it's going to be a good challenge to this defense. We got to be physically sound. We got to tackle really well. And eliminate the explosives. But, man, that's a really well-rounded team that we're going to face Saturday.
Jabbar Muhammad, everybody. You can come back anytime.
Thank you.
He really was great. How about that answer? Most honest answer I've ever gotten to the question, what are you going to do after you're done playing football? If you missed the entire Coaches Show, the Go Ducks YouTube, you can find it there. Also, subscribe to the Oregon Sports Network podcast. Quick timeout when we come back. Looking around Oregon athletics, match day for Oregon soccer. Some updates on Duck football as well. Keep it here. Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember, back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son? I left my heart in Oregon.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you inside the Country Financial Studio. So this weekend, we're anticipating another hot day. And I'll tell you, there were a lot of heat-related incidents for fans last weekend. Here's our shout-out. Start that hydration train now. Get hydrating now with a 7 o'clock game. And, again, those parking lots opening at 1 o'clock. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. More details, GoDucks.com. There will be more water-filling stations throughout the stadium. Anticipating a lot of people purchasing those bottles of water. We'll have all of that ready for you. And seriously, on a serious note, help out your fellow fan. You see somebody who's struggling. We don't want anybody to have heat stroke or anything like that. There will be a number of medical personnel around. Please have a good, high-performing day as a fan at Autzen Stadium when things kick off. Meanwhile, it's women's soccer match day. The Ducks will be in Lubbock tonight. It will be a 5 o'clock start. You can watch on ESPN+. Match day for the Ducks against Texas Tech. Graham Abel's squad on the road. Oregon soccer will be back at home on Sunday, hopefully coming off a victory here this evening. And on Sunday, it will be a 1 o'clock start against Sacramento State. Oregon volleyball is in action in Fort Collins starting tomorrow. The Preece Trail Run right here in Eugene will be tomorrow for Oregon cross country. And the Duck football team, we know what uniforms they're going to be wearing. The Ducks going with what I think is a clean look with the green top, green helmet, white pants for the Ducks to go with the green cleats against Boise State. I saw in the comment section today a lot of talk about blue turf. At least it's not orange. The orange would be tough. The blue is unique. I also saw on social media today, and this seems to happen every time Boise State comes up, Ducks are really throwing a wrench into everybody's equation, playing on a turf field that's a school color. I'll be honest with you, I laughed pretty hard at that. Picks tomorrow, bring your medicine.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces.